Throughout human history, we have been dependent on machines to survive.
Marketing Tech Blog.
Ow. I am just not sure about these intros. This week on the Marketing Tech Blog, which you can now get on iPhone and Android. So hope you guys are all enjoying that. We have a new version coming out soon. So Aaron actually pointed out a little error with our app today. So we'll get that fixed up and get a new one out. I came across the greatest tool this week by accident, just kind of browsing around. Oh, yeah? Do you guys remember Tungle? So Tungle was an application for scheduling. So you know how you do this dance with your prospects or people that want to have appointments with you where it takes 18 emails to go back and forth to find each other's calendars open and get an appointment. So Tungle fixed that. It was a fantastic application where you could sync your calendar online from Outlook or from Google, and I could just send you a link, Aaron, and you could go click the time that you wanted to meet me and request it, and I would approve and say yes. Well, BlackBerry bought Tungle and killed it, and really made all of us Tungle users mad. Tungle was becoming a verb for a while there. You know, just Tungle me. No jokes there. There a couple of scheduling apps have popped up since then that have been really difficult to use. We found one called TimeTrade, TimeTrade.com. Now, these guys aren't a client or anything like that, so they're not paying me to say this, but it's a really great application for scheduling appointments. It like Tungle, it syncs with your calendar. It's a little bit different and it's a little bit unique than Tungle, though, because you can set up different types of appointments, like a 1 hour phone call or a 1 hour meeting at your office, or if it's you can actually track what kind. So if it's
classes,
if it's a prospect call, or if it's a training class, or if it's a this, and then you could see how your calendar is filling up with those different types of calls.
Gotcha.
The cool thing is, you could say, so a client says, hey, can we meet for coffee for half an hour or whatever? So you go to TimeTrade and you click on your half-hour coffee call, and it gives you a link. And you send that link over to the person. You say, yeah, just put it on my calendar. And they put it right on your calendar when they're... And so it's you're not busy during that time and everything else. Well, they have
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So they have an upgraded option too for people where they can put click to schedule on your website. So you can actually have a button on your website and it'll route. So you can actually have, hey, anything sales goes to this guy. Anything training goes to this person. Anything. And
so what you're saying is that customer service could have a public calendar where they've got a spot for customers to be able to interact and be able to schedule appointments with them?
Yes, exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah. So the reason why this is so important is time is of the essence when it comes to responsiveness to leads and marketing. And I'm terrible at, DK New Media is terrible at this. When prospects call us, sometimes it's a week before I get back to them just because we're busy with work.
So you're still trying to find your phone.
Yeah, exactly. And so the reason why this is so important is because when people can't get a hold of you or people can't schedule that appointment with you, they go elsewhere.
That's right.
They have a need. They're going to go fill that need. So this really breaks it down to even, less than a phone call, right? I don't even have to call back to say when. You just tell me when and we'll meet. So TimeTrade.com.
Boy, that's putting a heck of a lot of control into your customers' hands.
I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's neat.
And quicker to a conversion, right? So that's the important thing there.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about a couple of other things on the site that weren't tool related but marketing related. One was perception. A lot of people design websites, and you guys have probably heard this, where people go, "Well, I don't really like it." Have you heard that
on the designs?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah,
and that's exactly the information I need to help improve that design.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to perception, I always tell people, and some people take it a little bit hard, but I'm a harsh guy when I say this, and that's that the website isn't built for you.
Yeah.
It's not for you to like. It's for your prospects to like.
Right.
And so, utilizing conventions and best practices and
right.
everything else is absolutely key. So perception is a very, very, very important tool. Another misconception that people have with perception, I don't have any more rhymes there, but is they think that their brand is more important than it is. So if you're a if you're a plumber, you all you think about is that you're the center of the world for your customers. That,
right.
And what you don't realize is that your customers have 30 other services that they're trying to balance and everything else. And so perception is important from that case too. So a lot of clients want to start a social media page and they don't understand why people aren't coming.
Right.
Well, because they don't really care about your company isn't an integral part of their life.
Right.
So
that's a bit of a rude awakening sometimes for clients.
It
that,
is.
that think that that's the silver bullet for a heck of a lot of things.
Well, and so change your perception. Change it to your client side. That okay, well, if you're plumbing, maybe you don't talk to them just about plumbing.
Yeah.
Maybe you talk to them about home maintenance. Maybe you talk to them about repair. Maybe you talk about, how to find specials online, how to, whatever.
Certainly.
Become more valuable to them as a friend and a trusted advisor online than as their plumber.
That's right.
So that's just a one bad example.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Edge of the Web Radio with Douglas Karr from Marketing Tech Blog. Go ahead. I'm sorry, just wanted to jump in there.
No, that's great. The next one that we want to talk about in depth is, and we're going to be talking about this. We're going to have an infographic on this as well. Is outbound marketing. So inside sales, outbound marketing. Okay. Inside sales, for people that don't realize it, is you picking up the phone and calling on prospects. Most of us aren't Coca-Cola or Google where people come to you all the time. Sometimes you have to go out and find them, and even Google actually has an inbound sales team.
Right.
And one of the things that we're seeing a lot of bad advice out on the web is people telling people the average number of calls to make for a client or the number of people to contact. So some of the numbers that we see out there is once you get to 6 calls, just give up. Once you get through to 4 people and you don't get the response that you want, give up. It's not worth
every day.
Yeah, every day. No, it's not worth continuing. Go call someone else. And
there's a whole science, a whole methodology that I got to say is kind of old school of the science of sales. And there are certain points you have to hit inside of a client contact.
Right.
That's old world methodology.
It is old world, and here's why is because you have to remember that people are changing and businesses are changing. We're a lot busier than we used to be.
You got that right.
We're getting a lot more phone calls in. We're getting a lot more emails in. We're getting bombarded with messaging and communications and everything else. So if you're calling on a potential client and gosh, we could help these people. Yep. I know we can help these people. We spoke with Bill Johnson. He's a founder of Jesubi, Jesubi. We've talked about them before, but Bill has said that he has basically we're collecting the data right now, but with some clients, it's taken up to 22 calls to convert them, and sometimes they hang up even because they're busy, they're heading to a meeting or whatever. But once he introduces who they are, and I'm not talking about 22 consecutive calls. I'm talking about once every few days, 22 times. But once they finally have a breath and have time to listen, and they can see the demo, they sign up. And so
so you're really kind of keeping in front of them. It's like I realize that you're busy right here, but I just want to keep.
That's exactly it.
Remind you.
And some people use the approach of, look, I'm sorry, I've left 10 messages for you. If you could just let me know if you're not interested, and I'll stop calling.
Right.
If it's that. But what people are thinking is that, well, they're just ignoring us. They're just ignoring us. They don't want our service. They don't want our service. Not the case. Most of the time, it's just that they're not aware, and they're too busy to take the time. They're distracted. So if you have an inbound sales, outbound marketing strategy, don't give up. And the other thing that we're finding is the bigger the contract, sometimes the longer it takes. So we're going to have some data on that on the Marketing Tech Blog.
Very cool.